That looks good to me. Yeah, that works. That looks good to me. What's going on? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. I'd like to start this stream out by first of all thanking you for taking the time to join it. I'm getting me some gum just for that stimulation because nerves are up, not for the stream, but because I've been working. I've been working like a maniac for the past few days, but I've really been working like a maniac for the past few hours trying to get as much done as I possibly could. For you who don't know who I am Shannon Williams, the OCPD coach, and I help you build a healthier relationship with progress in your life. That's what it is. It's all about progress. And in today's stream, what we're going to be doing is what I do every single Sunday, and that is break down what my life needs to look like for the next week. It's not a really, really deep thing that I'm going to be doing, but you're going to just get to see how let me hide that, get that out the way. There we go. You'll see how I balance my life, how I make decisions on things I need to get done for a week. You're going to see how I fit in family time, how I make sure I get my tasks done that are not family related but need to happen, and how I get my mental health time in, which I'll be honest, I could have done a lot better with this week. So we're going to do all of that. And then at the end, after we close this week out, we're going to do what I call a retro. And we're going to go over everything I could have done better, everything I did well, and then everything that I can do going forward. So just those action steps. Now that we have done the overview, though, I want to remind you that I do a stream on Thursdays. Every single Thursday, I do this stream at 4 p.m. Eastern time, where we will review everything that we talked about today. So all of my tasks, we're going to go over them and see how much progress was actually made. And then I do another stream on Saturdays. Every single Saturday, I stream myself working. So I call it hyper focus chill, but you can also call it a body double stream if you want to. And that's just us working together to get work done at the same exact time. All right, so now that this gum is not as potent, let me just check my audio on this device. Saturday, I stream myself. Yep, we're all good there. And let me pop into this other view real quick. Let's get back here. Okay. And the overview of how this is going to work, I already just did the warm up for 5 minutes. I'm going to introduce what I have, the Jira board I'm working with, just to give you all an understanding of what I'm working with. And then we'll go through every single one that I have. And actually, I lied. I was looking at the wrong thing. That's why it didn't make sense to me. We're going to do warm up, which I'm wrapping up now. We'll do a review. So I'm going to go and close all the tasks that I finished, move over anything that needs to move over. I just reordered what we had. Okay. We'll do a break, small break, and then we'll go into the retro at that point. We will do a topic deep dive. So in the retro, I like to pick a few things that really stood out to me. And then we'll go into planning. So that is when we're going to go through all of our tasks, figure out what we need to get done, and then get those things done. And we will wrap it up with a recap. So me having ADHD, I'm going to try my best to do everything on time. But can I get a little celebration for the fact that I made it on time today? I made it on time. I need something a little more than that. Hold on. I need a little bit more than that. A little bit more. Let me see something. I have a better one. This is the one I want to do. Here comes the money. Here we go. Money. Yes. Here comes the money. All right. So that's me. I had to celebrate that. And now let's go ahead and hop into it. So we are going to go and review everything that we have here. I have a timer to keep me on task. So let me pull my timer up. And y'all continue to bear with me. I'm making strides actually with using this Steam Deck, but I still can optimize this even more. So let's go ahead and get how long did I say? 20-minute timer. There it is. All right, now let's get back to our sound effects. And one more thing. Let me change the lights up. Yeah, that's better. I like this better for this stream. So I don't go to sleep. And sound effects. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's go in here. Anybody that's in here, first of all, thank you for hopping in. And I hope you leave a like and a subscribe if this content is interesting for you. This is also a place where you can drop questions. So if you have questions on my process, the tools I'm using, the decision making I'm doing, this is a great opportunity to share any of it. Tampa Reed, welcome in. We are on our 20-minute timer, so let's go ahead and get this started. I always want to celebrate the things that we got done. So first of all, shopper system. Customer can be influenced by marquees. This is something I broke down the shopper system a little bit more last week, and I broke it down into tasks. But what I decided to do was break this up because I did work on this. I just think I should have chunked it out a little bit more because it's so many steps in the process. So I duplicated this ticket, made this a part one, and then moved part two to our backlog. So I get credit for what I did do for this task. And we're going to do that right now. Let's keep going. Our shopping system. Customers can enter the mall with products and store in mind. This is what I was grinding on for the past hour and a half. I had to oh man, it's so complex when you programming stuff. You have to go so deep into everything and touch all these different things, touch each other. So a lot of work there, but I did finally get that working where customers, every single unit in the mall can generate their own customers. They have their own brains and decide where they want to go and what they want to buy. So love it. Next one. Benchmark social media stats and analytics every single Sunday. I did this, and unfortunately, there was no YouTube growth this week. I actually lost a sub, and then I got another sub. So I have no idea what happened there. But we are still at 235. The wish list for the game went up by about 10, so we're going to take that win. And there are additional things that I think I'll continue to improve upon, such as doing more YouTube shorts and improving my communication before I go live. So I definitely have some things I can take from this and improve going forward. But we did this task. Next thing, midnight game stream. Midnight game stream for Shaka Plays channel. This was torture for me. I only streamed for 15 minutes. I typically can stream for about 2 hours playing the game, but I was so tired. I got it done. You got to take your credit whenever you get to do it. Shopper system, assign interest to customer archetypes. This huge win. I was able to build an archetype table and add all the customer data inside of that so that it can pull the interest, appeal, mall unit, interest, all of that stuff can be pulled from the same exact location. So that was really clean. OCPD Coach hyper focus stream. We did that at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time yesterday. That was a great stream. Got a lot of work done. Player counter desk configuration system. Another one. Got this done. Was grinding on that one. Really happy to have that done so you can swap out items on your desk now. The rehaul and the distributor license system. I forgot about this. I completely forgot I even did this. This is why I always say it's so important for you to have that visibility. That mountain analogy that I like to make, where you're on the mountain, you want to be able to see how far you have left to go. And you also want to be able to look down and see how far you've come. That is what this is for me every single week. I get to go and say, Shannon, you did all of this work. Look at how much work you got done. And just now, that was a little shot of dopamine because I just feel proud of myself for getting this system done. This is something that has been lingering for a while, and I was really happy to get it done. So I got to give myself one for that. Ivy grad event. So I have some young men in my life that I mentor, or I don't even like that terminology, but just give some guidance to or give information to help them out. And two of them graduated this week, same exact week. They're best friends, luckily, so I got to spend time with both of them at the same exact time. And I had 2 grad events. I don't think I accounted for these grad events when I did my sprint planning last week. I think I forgot about them. But I did get this completed. And it was a great time, even though we were only there for a little bit. Work out at least two days this week. I did that, and even more proud, I was on a phone call, and the whole time I was on a phone call, every few minutes, I would just hit some bicep curls. So I got my 3rd day of working out, even though it wasn't a strict regimen for that 3rd day. So we'll take that one. Our shopping system. So thieves, this is one. I'm really happy about this. I added something. I'm not even gonna say it on here, but I added something into my game that came while I was building this, and it just makes the game so fun. So got that done. OCPD Coach Thursday stream. We knocked that out. This is my other grad. So this one was actually not even planned. The first one I knew about beforehand, but this one was unplanned and impromptu. So I'm really proud of myself for going, because a lot of times with OCPD, we get rigid. If it's not something we had planned beforehand, it's a no. We find some reason not to do it. We always have work to do. But I made time for this, and this is why I make it so urgent, so important for us to use systems like this so that we can have a reason to prioritize it. It didn't feel like it was taken away from anything. It would actually added value. And this says tier one relationship. This isn't a tier one. This would be more of a tier two, tier three for me. Sun time, lots of sun time, whole lot of sun time this sprint. It was great, but it was way more than 5 hours. Box management updates. I did this. Another one I kept pushing. So now when you hover over boxes, you can see what games and items are inside of it. You can also, I fixed the tossing of items. So I rebuilt that system. And then the boxes, I also made it where it does not cause collision issues anymore. Because when I had individuals test the game, they were having collision issues where the box would block them from walking. So instead of walking forward, they would start walking backwards. So I got that fixed. Another one, forgot about that happening this week. OCPD Coach, Sunday stream. This is one from last Sunday. Read Bible for 30 minutes. I've been doing that consistently. Wipe time, been getting that in. And countdown system, that was this sprint. I built the countdown system for my game. I built the countdown system for my game so that when the mall is opening, it gives you, I think, a 10-second buffer to just show you that time is ticking down, and then it does the same thing when the mall is closing. So I definitely have to give myself credit for that. Now, before we move, so that's all of the stuff that I have done here, but I actually want to add one more thing. Oh, no, that's right. The Sunday stream will be in the next sprint. That was smart. I'm glad I did it like that. So there are two things I have here, and I have stuff to add, but I do want to say this. When we talk ADHD and we talk time blindness, this was something I was not aware of when I was younger. I thought, even when I was grown, I didn't find out about my ADHD until a few years back. But I hope that you all can see in real time how time blindness works against you when it comes down to understanding how productive you've been recently. And let me explain why I say that. When I have this countdown system base, I forgot I did that this sprint and thought that I did it last sprint. So I was feeling less productive about this sprint because I was giving my old sprints too much value. I was giving the past sprints too much credit. But that's just the time blindness of it all. I just didn't even realize I did that this sprint. So that's a small example. I just want you guys to really pay attention to your brain, understand how your brain works, and see what you can do to help yourself out. Again, if you are here, I would love if you all could do me a favor before we move to this next section and leave a like. I don't even have like on here. What am I doing? But let me do this. I'm going to give you all the Jira link. So if you want to know what tool I'm using Jira. I've used Trello, TFS, a bunch of other tools. But at the companies that I work at, this is the one that I've liked the most. And I like to run my life as if it's a business. Another one, Jira Help. If you want help on how to use Jira and you want to get it right from me directly, or not directly, indirectly, but through a video, you can go to their YouTube video. Not right now, though. Make sure you stay on this channel and stay in this stream because I love your company and this is great right now. So check that out. And I'll give you another one, which is resources. I have resources available, 100% free resources on my site, theocpdcoach.com/resources. You can see all the different documents I built to help you out with. If you don't want to do it like this, you want other things in your life addressed, that's where resources will help you out a lot. And let's keep moving forward. So we got about 10 minutes left and we are making great time. I want to add in here, so in progress and stretch. Let me explain what these are. In progress is as clear as it says, exactly what it's saying. These are tasks I'm currently working on. So I'm actually doing some form of work on them in some capacity. Stretch, these are things that if I got it done, it would be cool, but it was for me to build a priority scale in my head so that I didn't put this over anything else. So stretch, in stretch, I have shopper system, sabotage and recover. This was not urgent. It's simple, but it's not urgent. So what I want to do instead, I'm going to let this roll over into our next sprint, and we will get it done in that sprint if we can. But again, this is not an urgent task. This is something that once the demo is out or the trailer is out, I can always add this in because it's such a simple thing to add. On the other hand, we have our in progress distributor quest system, part one. Now, this, I really should give myself credit for this and break it apart even more because I have this here story point estimate as a 10, which I hate bringing tickets in that are a 10. I typically like to break them down a little bit smaller. So maybe if we have time, we might do that in our planning session. We might take this quest system and break it apart a little bit more. The reason why I'm not going to give myself any credit for this though is because nothing I did this sprint checked off any of these boxes. I worked on the distributor quest system, but I didn't have a ticket that equated to the work I did. So I'm not going to cheat the system and give myself credit for it on this ticket. What I'll do instead is create a new ticket and add the work that I did there if I need to, and then mark that one as completed and bump this one out. So that being the case, what we will do is this. We have 8.5 minutes left in this section. So I'm going to go ahead and create these tickets that came up, these ad hoc tickets that I did not account for, and then give ourselves credit for them and close this sprint out. So let's start out with, let's go right to done. I don't know. I always like to start in to do because it feels good to pull the task over to done. So I don't like to start task out in done. I like to start them in to do. So to do, I have on here build, build parent distributor system. This is the work I did here. And watch this. This work ties the license, perk, and quest system to a single parent item that can be saved. This was a lot of work. So this is something I have to give myself credit for. This honestly, I want to say it was a 5, but I think I'd be cheating myself. I think I'd be cheating the system. So you cheat yourself and you cheat the system. I'd be cheating the system if I gave it a 5, since I think some of this work a little bit was encapsulated in the license task that I completed. So I won't give it a 5 for that. I'll give it a 3 just to try to encapsulate this work here. And we are going to give it the labels we give this. We're going to give it Retro Game Store Simulator. And that's it. Let's go ahead and create it. Okay, let's go ahead and create another one. This other one we're going to have is item discard system. So we're going to do product discard system, part 1. And we are going to say, this is the unpolished version of the discard system that allows players to get rid of items for some value. And that is what this was. And this one, honestly, this gets a 2. It wasn't crazy work, but I did have to reconfigure some things. We want to make sure we get all of that added in there. Another thing we need to add in here, we had some stuff that was not game related. It wasn't specifically game related, but it did take up my time. So, one more thing. Let me add this before I keep going with finishing this up. The goal of this is not just to be for my game. I want to make that clear. This is not just for work. This is a life management tool for me. As you see, Shannon's life, that's what I call it. So anything that takes my time goes in here. If it takes any of my time, even if it's something as simple as cutting my hair or giving the dog a bath, and I did cut the dog's nails, so I could add that. Wash my truck, spending time with family or going to events, all of that goes in here. And the reason it goes in here is because if I don't prioritize it here with my OCPD, my priority is not going to ever make time for it. It's never going to be something that I think I need to prioritize. So this helps me with that. So let's go ahead and add this. Again, if you are in here, I appreciate you being in here, and I would appreciate if you can leave it a like just so YouTube can share it. I'm trying to rebuild my YouTube algorithm so it can start understanding what type of content I make on my page. I'm that place right between ADHD and OCPD, right in the middle of it. That's where I'm at. But I do real life application to help you guys out and help me because I'm helping myself out at the same time. So yeah, like I mentioned, anything that took my time, I had this thing come up. So custom learning system for Shannon. This was something I had it on my mind and I just got it done finally. So build a website where we can add rewards, goals, and activity and an activity log to track Shannon's progress. So I put where we can add, let's say add, give, and track. And this, it's about a 2. It's about a 2. Spent a little bit of time on it. This is helping me with tier 1 relationship because my son was down here while I built it. And my wife, it helps my wife and my son, as well as mental health. But Shannon, how does it help your mental health? This how it helps my mental health. I get a dopamine hit when my son learns something new. We feed off each other. So when he gets excited, I get excited. When he learns, I get excited, and then he gets excited that I'm excited. And then when we buy stuff, when we buy games or what is he like action figures, it's that shared excitement that we get. So for me to have a learning system where he can, and then it also teaches him about finances. So with all of this, I really do think that this is helpful for my mental health because now I have something else that I can say, cool, Shannon, you want a new gift? You want a new action figure? Let's add it to the list. Let's give you something to strive for. So I think I have a finance one in here as well. Yeah, financial. There we go. Let's give it that one. Oh, and ad hoc. I should have added ad hoc to all of these. So I'm going to show you how to do something real quick. You can select. Oh, wait, I'm not in that view. So ignore what I was going to show you. You can only do that in the backlog view. But let's add ad hoc. And this just means it wasn't planned work. It was something that came through. Okay. So there's another one that came in. And this was I'm calling it tier 3 impromptu coaching call. So this is a family member calls or somebody that's in that tier 3 range, and I spent time helping them out. So this was this was about 3 hours. This is like a 3-hour long conversation. 2 or 3, I think it was 3. There it is. So then I would give that a. Now I can't remember. I think my story points are supposed to go on hours, but now I got confused with how we do it at my job, and I just threw myself off. So I'm going to do it in hours. I think that makes sense for me to do it in hours at home. And I'll tell you why that threw me off with jobs or companies. When you use Jira, the company, and there's a specific group of people in the company, they dictate how the fields should be defined. So they dictate what makes a story point. Oh, I thought it didn't create it. They dictate what makes a story point, what makes a fire, what defines the priority. They dictate all of that. And with that being the case, it's prone to change. So that's what happened. Okay, I'm trying to focus on making sure I get this done on time. There we go. All right, now, how long? 3. Nice. So let's get this done. Let's get all of these moved over. Let's go to our sound effects just so we can celebrate ourselves here. And move these over. I got 10 seconds. No way I'm getting it done. Build parent distributor. Got that one. We got this one. We got this one. And we have this one. Nice. So with that being the case, this is what I want to do now. I want to, first of all, get a little cheer. Because we are done with our sprint. We did what we could. And the thing about this is that there are a few things that did not get done. However, I'm starting to see a trend where I have things that are not accounted for. And I'm able to find a balance of getting things done, getting probably, I don't have the number off the top of my head, but let's say I get 90% of the things that I have assigned done. And then I'm bringing in an extra 20% of work. I'm still putting in the same amount of effort and I'm still being just as productive. It's just I had to dictate where I wanted to put that energy. So I'm proud of myself. I'm not going to beat myself up and make myself feel bad about not getting these tasks done. All you can say is next time, try to plan a little bit better. That's all I can do. All right. So with that being the case, let's give me 1 second. Let's do this real quick. We have a 5-minute break. So that's what we have next. So let's give ourselves a 5-minute break. I'm going to change it to this screen. We are going to hide our timer. Switch our timer. There it is. All right. And now we are in our break. So we can just chill. We can be quiet. I can talk, but let me just drink some water and get my thoughts together. All right. Got this. And if you are inside of this stream, I appreciate you. We are on a 5-minute break real quick. Let me get set up for this next segment. And I would appreciate if you guys could leave a subscribe. It's free, y'all. It's free. And it helps me. It really does help me, believe it or not. I track this stuff every single week. If you can leave a subscribe, and if you want to be part of the next stream that I do, make sure you turn that post notification bell on. I'm trying to get better with that communication. So what we're going to get ready to do next is our retro. My wife says, how long will you be streaming today? Not very long. I think I get out of here around 2:30. Yeah, I think I get out of here about around 2:30. So let's see. We want to pull up our where is it? All right, public retro ongoing. There it is. Let me change this from template. Let's change the name of this from template. And then let me go here. And if you guys are like, hey, we can't see, I know. I'm going to be sharing my screen in a few seconds or a few minutes as soon as this goes away. What I'm doing right now is setting up our next screen. Our next part of this stream, which is our retro. My favorite part. This is my absolute favorite part of the stream is the retro. The reason why is because we get to analyze ourselves. We get to analyze our patterns. We get to set new goals. I think that's what gives life meaning outside of spending time with family and all the other good stuff that people say. For me, it's setting goals and accomplishing those goals. What I've gotten better at recently, though, is celebrating those goals when they get accomplished and then setting better goals, because that was always a struggle, was setting better goals. So we are to the point now where I'm pretty comfortable setting goals, and I'm pretty comfortable with celebrating myself when I get goals done. They say you have to have some balance in there. With OCPD, we tend to just go, hit goals, and then we never pause and say, cool, I hit a goal, let me celebrate. And I didn't even realize I did this. It was something I was reading a book. It was called Battle Cry. And they talked about how men especially, we deflect praise. We literally deflect praise and we just chalk it up to, hey, this is what I'm supposed to be doing for the most part. And then I read that book and realized I did that. I could never take a compliment. So what I started doing was I created a document, which is available for free if you're ever interested. I have it on the resources site. So the OCPDcoach.com/resources. And I call it the personal positive feedback log. So you just start logging all of the compliments that you get and who gave it to you. You'd be surprised. I had a few people do this outside of myself, and they talk about how beneficial it has been. They talk about how good it just feels. So I want you all to, if you're having that issue, if you have imposter syndrome, or you just doubt your real ability, or you have that internal self-talk, but your internal self-talk doesn't really match the results that people tell you you are getting, I think you should really take a look at that document and see if it's something that you should try doing, even if it's just for a month. That's a long time. Start with a day, go up from a day to 3 days, from 3 days to a week, from a week to 2 weeks, from 2 weeks to a month. Build it up like that, scaffold it. And I'm telling you, you will start looking at yourself in a different light. And it feels good. It's a sense of relief when you get to the point where you can understand that people are actually giving valid praise or valid compliments when they're saying stuff. It's not just to make you feel good. It actually can be valid. And it helps you build a more realistic image of who you are as a human, what you contribute to the world, what your strengths are, what your shortcomings are, and you can go from there. But if you're operating in delusion, even if it's negative delusion, where you're looking down at yourself, you never have that true benchmark to work from. So let's continue, y'all. Sprint retro time. Sprint retro time. So let me pull this up real quick here. Look at that. Y'all can't say I have not improved with my transitions, actually getting from one thing to the next. I think I'm doing much better. I do. That's a gotta give myself that one. I think I'm doing a lot better. So with this, we are going to be doing our sprint retro for 15 minutes. Let's get that going. And as I mentioned before, we're going to review our week, review our sprint. Our sprint is a week long right now. So we're going to review it, see how we did, what went good, what went poor, and what we can improve going forward. First thing I always like to do here is pull in our sprint goal. So edit our sprint real quick. Let's pull these in. And then let's complete this sprint. Actually, no, that's not completed yet. I'll wait to complete until after I do this. So let me put this here. There we go. So let's see how we did on our goals. First of all, fixed box system for RGSS. Yes, we did it. Or as I like to say, done. That is the, hold on, let me get one thing up. There it is. That's what we'll call it here. It's done. Next thing, move forward with quest system. Players should be able to receive quests from current license givers. Not done. So what do we have that's good for that one? Nah. Yeah, I like that one better. I like one of those better. I didn't do it, so it's okay. Physical work is knocked out early. Oh, this is another thing. This is another thing I forgot to mention. I actually ended up bumping 2 tickets out. One was for washing my truck and one was for pressure washing. The reason why was because the day I planned on doing it, which was that Sunday, it started storming. And it's been storming and raining for the past few days because we're in hurricane season. So I'll find a day to do it, but it just didn't make sense to do it right before it rained. And my wife was the one who brought it up to me. She said, it's about to rain. So it is what it is. It's fine. We'll move on. All stream commitments are met. Yes. Yes. All stream commitments were met. I did every stream that I planned on doing. I did it. Even if I was tired and I wanted to cancel, I wanted to push it off, I just didn't want to bump an unnecessary ticket. I did not want to push something off. And this is why I always say Jira for me has been helpful, because I would have felt worse about bumping a ticket out that I knew I could have done, even if I just did it for a smaller amount of time. So we have that's how we were looking for our objectives. So that wasn't bad at all. Let me go up a little bit just to see how we were looking last week. Yep. So what I want to do is this: looking at our action items, communicating stream schedule should be more proactive and automated. This is something I didn't even get a chance to look at. I didn't make a ticket for this sprint, so I knew I wouldn't, but we got to move that over. Need to prioritize getting the course done. This will only be helpful information, and I only have 10% left. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to add wrap up content. So we'll say text content for progress course. If you're like, hey, what course? Are you making one of those people making all these scam courses? It's not a scam. The course I'm selling you when it's done, because I've been working on it for about a year, it's not guaranteed to make you any money. It's not guaranteed to get you a 6-figure job. None of that stuff, or find a marriage or any of that crap that people try to promise with some courses. My course is designed to help you build a healthier relationship with progress by giving you information that I've used myself and used for coaching clients. And that's it. That's it. I can't promise you anything else, but I can say I will give you some insight into what I've done to help me out. All right, another thing, find a way to take streaming content and turn it into evergreen videos. I think I did that. I think I'm getting there. I'm figuring it out. What I'm starting to do is talking more in my breaks about stuff that is not just so specific to that day. Or even when I do my small breaks and I express the seriousness or the impact that a certain tool is making, I think I'm already doing that. So we are doing this. And break up shopper system ticket. We did it. All right. Oh crap. That was another ticket I brought in and completely forgot. One more thing I did. I'm going to go to my backlog real quick, and there was something in here for my course. There was something in here for the course. Assign course activities to modules. Yes, I did this. That's what I say when I mention us forgetting stuff that we did. I did this after my stream last week. That's another one. Boom. Let's take it in. We're taking that one. I had to look at my old week last week to see what I actually planned to do. Okay, so what I like to do, I bounce back and forth as things come up, but I like to always start with what went well. And I'm gonna say majority of my tickets in this sprint were completed. Another one I would say, for the most part, tickets that were assigned were broken up. I like to use the terminology task chunking, so I'll say chunked appropriately. And I'm going to say we're chunked and pointed, because both of those, I had accurate story points, and I had them chunked pretty well, except for the quest ticket. I could have done a little bit more with that. But even that, I think that still could be. I'm getting beside myself. I told you I have ADHD. It's real. It's just a real thing. What didn't go well? What didn't go well? What didn't go well this sprint? Okay, I'll say this. I'll let ad hoc task. I let ad hoc task delay more important tasks. And I'll give an example. Friday night. So Friday night I was on the phone, as I mentioned, helping some of my tier 3 relationships. But I was on that call for about 3 hours, and I was right before the call, I was getting deep into my focus. Like that's a real Friday nights are probably my most critical nights to get focused. So, and I lost it on that night. So it is what it is. I was still happy with the result of what I was able to get done that day. What else didn't go well? Quest system was not completed. So quest goal was not met. What went well? Even with all of the moving parts in the distributor, license, quest, perk system, I'm confident in the direction going forward. Another thing that went well, while working on Thief system, I added a new component to the game for disposing of products and people. We'll leave it at that. What went well? Another one. Even though I was extremely tired, I pushed through. And cashed in on my small wins. Something that didn't go well. Gaming stream was trash. I was debating if I would even do it up to the last 30 minutes. I had no energy. And it fell flat. Another thing that didn't go well, I don't think I did my medication well this week. What I mean by that is this: I have as desired as needed Adderall that I can take, and it's a 2-a-day thing. So it's the instant release. I can take it when I want. But if I don't take it at the right time, or if I take a few days off and then take it, whatever the case might be that throws off my cadence, since I don't take it every single day, it throws my sleep schedule all the way off. So that didn't hit me until the weekend. And what I'm going to put, I have an action item for that. We're going to say, anytime I take meds after break, or take 2 in a day, I must drink sleep tea. Before 2 a.m. Actually, I'll say 1 a.m. By the time it gets to 2 a.m., it's over. If I'm up till 2 a.m. working, I'm up till 3 a.m. working, and then I'm up till 4 a.m. tossing and turning, and then I'm back up at 6 or 7. Okay, what else went well? I found time to build out system for Shannon. Spent a lot of time with wife and son this week. What didn't go well? My energy for eat your fries has not been there. My interest was not there. Isn't a true negative, but definitely worth noting. Okay. All right. What else did we do? Seems like we did. Oh yeah. What went well? I decided to rebrand the hyper focus streams as body double streams. Another thing I want to add in here is this. I made it to at least 2 of my streams on time. So I made it to at least 2 of my streams on time. What didn't go well, I was extremely late to Thursday's stream. Okay, so what can be done going forward? I can block off stream time and work calendar to guarantee no meeting gets placed. Wrap up text content. All right, I added the sleep tea. See if I can bring in, or not even that, I need to just do it. So bring in 1 quick hit ticket for EYF. I let ad hoc tasks delay more important tasks. That's just that happens sometimes. So that's fine. I need to, at some point, I want to build presets. What one will? Honestly, stream deck navigation is starting to feel more natural. And I think, honestly, this honestly feels really good. What one will spend time with tier 3 relationships. Okay. Look at that. Told y'all I was sticking to my times. So that is the time that we have for our retrospective. That is the base of this. And again, guys, I know you might get tired of hearing me say it, but you know YouTube is about marketing. So I do need your help. If you can, if you're enjoying this stream, do me a favor, leave a like, leave a subscribe, put the notifications on. If you are somebody who already watches these streams or is subscribed, thank you. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate you. And I also want to remind you that on Thursday, I will be doing a live stream where we are going to go over all of the work that we are going to get planned out today. And that's going to be a lot of fun. In addition to that, every single Saturday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, you guys get to work with me. Let me be your body double. So I vibe to some music that you guys might not hear because copyright. Thanks, YouTube. And we get stuff done. You get to see what task I'm working on, we get to knock things off the list. And outside of that, you probably already know if you're watching this or if you're in it, every single Sunday at 1:15 p.m. Eastern time, we do these streams. We plan out my entire week. What is life gonna look like with family, personal goals, business, mental health, spiritual, whatever needs to be addressed, that's what we're going to. And I think I'm gonna try something a little bit different. I might try something different if we have time today. I might end this video with a quick explanation of my tier system because I always do that. What am I talking about? I don't always do that. I always talk about it, and you might not know what I'm talking about. So I might end it with that just so you guys can have that information. And then if you need to hop out, go ahead and do what you got to do. So that was our retro. The next thing we're going to do is a 5-minute deep dive. So let's do that right now. Let's go into our timer, set a 5-minute. And let's deep dive on a few of these real quick. One of the biggest things that I saw on here Okay, yeah. One of the biggest things that I saw on here was this. This. And this we'll talk about. So we'll talk about these 3. First thing, what went well? What did I do well this week about my sprint that I really wanted to touch on? It has to be this. Hello, hello. All right, I had to make sure. For some, I have OCD too, but I don't talk about that much. But in my head, I thought I was muted, and I thought I'd just been talking to myself for the past 15 minutes. But no, what went well? On here, I put, even though I was extremely tired, I pushed through and cashed in on my small wins. I think I mentioned it this weekend. My medication schedule, I jacked myself up somehow where I was too energetic, and then I wound up waking up early because I can't sleep in, and my whole day is just off. So with me waking up early on a Saturday, knowing that I start streaming at 8:30 p.m. and I don't stop, and then I start up another stream at midnight. It was too much. I mentally I was checked out, and I was starting to feel the burnout. Not of the 8:30 stream, that's the one I was looking forward to, but of that video game stream, nah, that was tough for me. So we're gonna see what we can do going forward. My thought is I think I might either move it up, or maybe I'll do an hour of playing the game before I start my 8:30 stream. That way I don't have to context switch, and if I want to go to bed at midnight, I can. Or I just cut them down to once a month. Nothing's telling me, nobody's saying I need to play video games for that much time. It was just something I was doing because people told me they like those game videos. So we'll figure something out with it. We'll definitely get it figured out. Next thing I had on here, the gaming stream was trash. I was debating if I would. Okay, this is the same thing. So I told you about what went positive, but this was the negative side effect of it. I worked through it, but me working through it, I couldn't give it my all. It wasn't the best experience. It wasn't my highest quality work, my most entertaining work. So that that's just that's just what happens sometimes, unfortunately. What I wanted to do also is this wrap up text content for progress course. I need to add one more thing in here for what went well, and I would say I added course activities. Course activities. So I added the course activities, but I realized that I don't have text content, and even though I'm doing videos, I did long videos. I might want to add some text content, even if it's just outlines of content for you guys. I just need to figure out what that looks like and add a task for it. But those are the tests I really want to hit on. I do have a little bit of extra time, so I wanted to see if there's anything else I want to touch on real quick. Um, yeah, let's touch on my horror game real quick. This sprint, I didn't do a lot of work on my horror game. I don't think I did anything at all. I don't think I did any work on my horror game. But the reason why is because when I switch context and I'm trying to get really involved in something that's urgent, I have to hyper focus on that and push off stuff that might deter me from it, that might seem more interesting right now. So I had to do that with each of fries. I had to push it off for right now, not the game. So am I live? It's like I jinxed it. I said I was afraid that I was gonna go on mute, and then my wife called me and told me I was on mute. So ah, that sucks. I'm not gonna stress over it. Y'all know I like my stuff to be perfect. I'm fighting it. This is exposure. This is forced exposure. Everything is good. But no, I was just talking about with this one context switching. So with me switching context between two different video games, I wasn't able to be as dedicated and as involved as I wanted to be. So for now, I push EYF, and I'm giving myself, by the way, Let me give myself one more minute just because I was talking and I want to make sure you get all this context. But I pushed my horror game off just for a second. My active work in it. The game is still being developed. And the thing I brought up was the OCPD tendencies of we suck at delegating, and then also us spending money. We were really frugal. We don't want to spend money. I had to fight both of those things to be able to pull off this feat where I can say, okay, I'm not doing any active work on EYF on this horror game, but at the same time, the horror game is still being developed because I found other folks who could help me out in different areas and paid them what they charge for their services. That people that I trust, obviously, and the game is still progressing. So even though I'm not sitting up doing code in the game, somebody is making a character for the game, and it's been taking them a few weeks to get that done. Somebody else is building a gray box of the environment for the game, and then they just send it to me to test. So this is why those are two things. If you want to do anything business related, especially with OCPD, you have to get those two things in check. Frugality, you have to be willing to spend money sometimes, and you have to be willing to delegate. In addition to that, you have to be capable of delegating. And I'm going to show you guys one thing just so you can see it real quick. I have this expectation manager right here. And for anybody who is trying to delegate or improve delegation in their life, this is the document that you should really check out. Shannon, why should we check this document out in particular? The reason you need to check this document out in particular is because with OCPD, I've learned that a lot of our failures with delegation come down to three things. Let's see if I can remember them. But it is the unrealistic expectation for something, a an undefined expectation for something, and a oh man, it's a third one that I always use and I completely blanked on it. It's undefined, unrealistic, and unclear, but that might be under undefined. Whatever the case might be, I have a video up on it. I talked about it a while back. And this document helps with that because we get to have all of our unfair. It was unfair, unrealistic, undefined. That's what it is. So unfair. A lot of times we have expectations even of ourselves that are unfair. You expect, for instance, me expecting that every single time I do a stream, nothing will happen. Knowing I've just been streaming for a few weeks and I'm still getting my feet wet with new technology, that would be unfair to me. That wouldn't be fair to myself to do that. So I have to, now that I have that wisdom, I have to be more relaxed on myself. I have to be more graceful of myself. And we have to do that with other folks as well. We can't have these unfair expectations or unfair expectations for people to get things done that are beyond the scope of what they are able to do, or to a degree that we have in our head, but it's really impossible for anybody to meet it. Next thing, undefined. An undefined goal or expectation is one of the worst things. And I used to suck with this. I used to always ask people for stuff, but not give them exactly what I needed for them to make it happen. It was because I thought they saw what I saw. I thought they were in my head and they could just see everything that I saw, and I just gave sparing details or a broad picture. But what we need to do, especially with OCPD, since we think everybody thinks like us, we have to be very specific about the things that we are looking for. Very specific. The example I always give is cleaning the kitchen. You ask one person, can you clean the kitchen up? In your head, you're probably expecting everything to be done, dishes washed, dried, put away, floor mopped, swept, the all of the different appliances that you have wiped down, grease free, the blinds dusted, every single thing, the refrigerator cleaned out, oven cleaned out, microwave cleaned out, every single thing, right? But if you say, can you clean the kitchen to somebody, they might perceive that as, okay, you just want me to wash the dishes and put the dishes up. That might be it. So instead of getting upset at them and saying, no, that's not what I meant, or I gotta do everything myself, instead of doing that, you can set an expectation as to what you are asking for so that it is clearly defined. And the next thing of this is the unrealistic part. What I like to do is take my brain or take whatever my goal or expectation is and then reduce it by 20% or so. Because our expectations are not, it's not a normal person's 100%. It's typically like 120% where we're thinking way ahead or thinking way more detailed than a lot of people are. So, with that being said, we have to reduce our expectations even of ourselves just a little bit and then leave room if we want to say, okay, these are nice to haves. An example for the kitchen, a must have for me is dishes washed. And let's say dishes are put are set up to dry. So they don't even have to be put away, but they're set up where they can dry. Microwave is cleaned out, and that's enough for a must have because these are the things I'm using the most, right? And let's say the counter's cleaned off, the counter's just wiped down. Nice to haves then would be the refrigerator is completely cleaned out. All things that need to go in the trash are trashed. Another thing is the floor is swept and mopped completely and spotless. Another nice to have is there is there are no dirty towels out. So all of the dirty rags or anything that you would use is tucked up under the sink. These are nice to have. This is above and beyond. But the issue comes when we make our above and beyonds part of our MVPs and we make all of that part of the expectation in an unclear way and make it unrealistic for folks. And we just are being unfair. So I know that was a long little thing. I tried to keep it down to under 5 minutes, and I think I did. But that is why this expectation manager document is one to pick up. If you are interested in documents that I provide for free, this is the one that I would say, hey, go pick that one up, especially if you suffer from OCPD or if you have a hard time delegating to anybody. Pick this document up, start working on it with your spouse. It's also useful for romantic relationships. I've used this with people who are spousal partners or people who are just dating. And when I tell you that the reaction I got was that my significant other said that this helped so much and they appreciated how I was communicating clearly and I didn't even have to go and explain all of these extra things that I was thinking in my head. This is beneficial. It's not rocket science actually, but it's a logical approach to our emotional and chaotic at times lives. So I want to help you. This is my offering. But on a serious note, let's move forward. We do have to get back to wrapping this up. And the next thing that we have is a planning session. Planning. It's time to plan, y'all. We are going to do, I think I have 20 minutes. 20 minutes worth of planning. And I'm trying to drink as much water as I can right now. So I don't have to do a lot of drinking while I talk. What I want you to do right now, if you are in here, do me a favor. Leave a subscribe on the channel. It doesn't cost you money. Doesn't even really cost you a lot of time. I think you can just hover up. Leave a like on the video because we're about to get deep. I'm about to get really personal with you guys and show you the inside of my life, my brain, how I operate. I'm being transparent. I'm being vulnerable. I'm doing all this stuff, but I want you guys to just understand that this is not a perfect system for everybody. It's just what works for me. That's all I can give you. So that being said, let's hop over. Let's get active. Let's set our 20-minute timer. Let's get to it. Okay. We are in June, and I need to get my demo out. My goal is to get my demo out for my game in July. The game releases in November. That should give me enough time to ramp up a bunch of support and get a bunch of people that are interested in the game to get the game because I think it's cool. So with that being said, let's go ahead and do a complete of this sprint. We're going to move the work that we didn't finish in this sprint to sprint 26. Pull that out. And let's pull a sprint 26 up to the top. Okay, so June 1st through June 8th. That's what we have. That's what we're working with here. Let's see, some stuff already in here. So this one was moved from our last sprint. This is customer can be influenced by marquees. Let's definitely do that. I think that's one we can knock out. Sabotage and recover. Let's also keep that. That's another one we can knock out. Let's pull this top backlog. License perk system is something that I think we can do. It has to be done, so I'm going to move it up just in case it bleeds over a little bit. And then we have create camera system. This is something we don't have to do right now. We don't need this right now. We don't need animatronic system right now. These are both tasks that are what I would consider hold on. Stretch work. So I would consider those to be stretch work. Distributor relationship system. Player should have a relationship value with each distributor. This could be influenced by the following. This needs to be moved over. Now, I don't know if it needs to come right now, but these two work hand in hand. So I think it makes sense to pull both of these in. Build rent payment system. No need for this right now. So let's bump this out. Let's bump this out to sprints. See, that's the thing. I'm missing the sprint. That's the issue is I was looking for a sprint 28, but I don't have one of those. So we're going to just move this again to stretch. And product desire system will definitely be moved up. Some of this stuff I'm also waiting for my finalized UI to come in. And I got to see my UI today, at least the font and the color scheme. Man, it's looking gorgeous. So I cannot wait for that to be added in. Our streams were not added into this sprint. So a lot of our repeating tasks were added to stretch work since stretch work was the one that was listed as next. So let's just check this stuff first and see what we have. And based on what we have here, that'll determine that'll be the easy part. I mean, this will be the hardest part. The easy part is once we're done with this, just moving over those tasks that are repeating. So with us having such a small scope of work here, it's much easier to work with this. Build proactive stream communication. This, I can't prioritize this right now. I can't. So let's move this to anytime. It's weird that it won't let me just move it to anytime work, but I'll just move it now. So let's move it to anytime. Another thing we have is build investment item product disposal system. So this is being able to get rid of shelving and all of that stuff, which is it's such a simple task. I think I'll bring it in. But what I'll do is I'll add stretch on here just so we know that this is a task that could be stretched. And also, I think I could change it here. So let's move it here. Let's switch it here. We'll make it stretch. So it automatically goes in stretch. Building the skill tree benefits. Honestly, the skill tree is not even something that needs to be included in the game when the game is released. Me being 100% honest, the skill tree it does not need to be in the. It's just hitting me. That's what's crazy. It just hit me that it does not need to be in the game when it first comes out. Thank you, God. Wow, that's the clarity you pray for. And I prayed, man. I prayed for clarity today. I prayed with my family today and asked God that He guide our steps and whatever decisions He wants us to make, put them in our heads, and He did it. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We're doing good so far. I think this is getting more and more realistic. So create three TikToks or YouTube Shorts. I want to do this. I really want to do this because I need to drive more traffic to the channel. And I think I can do it by taking some of the times where I'm talking, where I'm looking up at the camera and talking. Those are the moments I can take and then turn those into TikToks and YouTube Shorts. So we'll definitely do that. Oh, and I have a meeting at 4 o'clock. Oh man, I forgot about that one. Really fast, I forgot about it. I have it written down. It's just my brain. So this being the case, wow, that just took so much crap out of here. Okay, so let's bring in shopper system stuff. Customers need to ignore disabled shelves. Okay, that's an easy enough one to bring in, so let's bring it up. Our benchmark stats. So all of these are repeating tasks that we are going to bring up. I'll bring all these up to our current sprint. Store boxes that you post to. See, now I think I'm just adding stuff, and this is what happens. I'm trying to fill all this time with my time blindness, and I don't think that's smart. Create establishing tickets for EYF. Honestly, I think this is something I could do. I did put a task in that I wanted to get EYF stuff done. What I probably will wind up doing for this though, I might pull it in. I'll make that one of my stretch ones. I'll also this midnight game stream one. Let's pull that out this week. I might not stream a video game this week because I was so tired this past week, and that one is not really adding a whole lot of value. It's not adding a whole lot of value right now. I think it will when my game's demo is out. I think it'll add more value. So let's pull it out for right now just so we can figure something up. Make sure we prioritize stuff correctly. Okay, so we have customers react to time sensitive events. That's gonna be cool, but I can't do it right now. Build sell and promotion system. I would love to build this in, but I have to be realistic. I hear my son. I don't know why. He's supposed to be sleeping. Build product supply system. I think this one is easy enough for me to implement. The only thing is, will I actually have time to do it? That's the thing I don't. He get caught in this catch 22, whatever you want to call it. With ADHD, we absolutely know that we can hyper focus and knock stuff out if we give ourselves a deadline. We know this. The issue is that I don't want to pull stuff in and then not get stuff done. But then if I don't pull it in, I might not get it done. I might waste time because I see I have so much other stuff. Well, honestly, I can give myself credit and complete and count this as done because I did this. So, and actually, I think I gave myself credit in the last sprint. So what I'll do instead is delete this. So let's delete this. Do I have the perk system in here? I would much rather prioritize the perk system. Oh, let me change this too because I did the prereqs already. So I did this already. We would say build text content for course modules. This would be a great time to tap on Russ. I just thought about this. I have one of my original clients actually did education stuff. He did this stuff. So that might be a great opportunity to tap on him. And then we can drop these out. There we go. Save it. Okay. So this, I need to move this from anytime up to stretch. Yeah, I have a few box management updates that I probably could add in. That definitely will need to be added, but doesn't need to be added right this second. Checkout system, rehaul. If this pops up, I'll do it. Shopper system. Okay, that one we said we can wait for that. Yeah, there's a perk system, but I'm not seeing the perk system. So I want to make sure that I prioritize doing that. Shit. Oh, here it is. I made a mistake and moved it all the way to the bottom of the backlog. That's why I didn't see it. So let's go ahead and move that to. Y'all don't understand. It's like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders with me bumping out the. What do you call that? What did I say? Skill tree. Me bumping that out it just lifted the weight off my shoulders where my vision is a lot clearer. I don't need that right now, especially if I decide to do with me doing the license perk system. Completely negates the need for it. So we got license perk system, and where we had this at? Yeah. So with license perk system, we'll say part 1, and we would say add as many perks as possible. So I won't give myself a hard limit on that. I'll add as many as I can, and then whatever I can't add, I'll duplicate it. I know this isn't technically one of my SMART goals I like to preach. However, it's such an undefined task right now. That means setting a number would just be an arbitrary number. It wouldn't really matter. So we'll do it like that. And let me see what we have. Oh, this is my real voice. This is the voice I really use when I'm not excited. But no, let me see what we have. So if I do this, I'm probably naturally going to do the product supply system with it. I think it'll naturally come. I think it'll come as an add-on. So this will be simple. This will be complex. This will be complex. When I say complex, I mean it's really involved because it touches so many different areas of the game. This will be simple. This should be pretty simple. This will be a little more complex. Honestly, let's pull this out. Let's not do the horror game this time, right now. Let's pull out the horror game. And let's pull up the build product supply system. Could be really, really simple. And I'm gonna have to do it anyways because it ties right into the perk system. So we'll pull that in. And what I'll do is I will say, out of these, which ones would I want to make a stretch? I think that's good. Wow, that week looks beautiful. That looks beautiful. That looks gorgeous. I love it. So that's 14. Now, I need to give myself another ticket because I'm about to do a collaboration in about an hour and a half. And I want to make sure I give myself credit because we don't know how long this is going to take. Okay. And with this, we're going to do labels. Labels are going to be, it's like a tier 4 relationship right now. We're going to give it mental health, personal branding, and then OCPD coach. There we go. Okay. We get this one more look. Nobody told you to move. Okay. I think that looks good. 15 tickets is not bad. I don't have any ad hoc stuff. I don't have a stream. Oh, crap. I do have a stream. Look at that. I forgot. I have a podcast on Friday. Okay. There it is. See, that's why you always just take that extra second. That does change my scope some because it's going to be on a Friday. That might cut into my time a little bit. If I want to choose one to be a stretch, it'll be this. Other than that, I think that's beautiful. Do I have read Bible in here? Yep. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Let's start this. Sprint goal. There we go. Beautiful. We're starting it. Let's go. Let's kick it off. I'm happy. Yo, this was a successful stream. This was a successful stream. I'm really happy. Let me make sure my mic is on. Yeah, it's on. But no, in reality, I'm really happy. This is the recap. I'm really happy with how everything went. Got a lot of stuff done. And I'm really confident in this upcoming sprint that I have. As a matter of fact, I get to give myself credit for something right here already because that is something that I was able to get done. So we're going to go here, give myself my ding for that. And we are going to be working on the next thing I'm going to be doing is this YouTube collab. So that's what I'm prepping to do right now. But outside of that, everything is looking solid. This is how you want to feel when you're doing your sprint. I have enough to challenge me, to keep me engaged and push myself so that I don't slack. But I'm also not overloading myself to the point where on Thursday, I'm looking at this mountain like there's no way, absolutely no way I'm getting any of this done. And then I just decide to stop using Jira altogether. And I'm not saying that I will, because I have more commitments with this now. It's more tied into my life and my brand and what I'm building. But that's what happens. You burn out from doing something, or it starts to seem like it's too lengthy or complicated, and you just say, "Ugh, it's over. I'm done." That's the tool. So that is the goal. Find a healthy balance. And I'm really happy with continuing to keep my wife time, my son time in here. That makes it easier when my son does come down and interrupt, where I'm not so hard on him, because I know that I have tasks to give him time, to give him attention. So it makes it a lot easier. And this is like a really far shot. I just realized how far this shot is, but I like it. Let me see. Can you work? Hey, there we go. Right there. That's good. That's good. But I want to tell you something real quick. 3 minutes. I want to tell you about the tier system really quickly. I like to I've had a hard time in life with relationships that are family oriented, friendships, and then finding that time for your immediate family relationships. So I always would struggle with, where do you give the time, where do you give the attention, where do you prioritize? And then I became an adult, and I started having more responsibility, and I started having less time. So I was forced to make decisions. The way I like to do anything in my life now is separate my goals or my desires by buckets. I call them value lanes. And this is what my course will be about, but I call them value lanes. And each inside of each value lane is something that I care about. So for relationships, I have a few different value lanes for them, but they're all just tiered with a number. So I have one value lane, which is tier one. That's my wife, that's my son. Tier two, that's my parents, my siblings. Tier three, that's where you get your cousins, your uncles, all of the rest of the family that you have. Tier four is where you have the friendships, and then business opportunities. And I separated my life like this. Now, it it was kind of weird at first when I explained this to folks, because I have a whole schedule for when I like to call people, or how often I should talk to people. Just something that helps my ADHD mind is templates. So templates are great, and I made myself a template. But it was weird at first, and I had to get used to it. But over time, I started to understand that it naturally happens. It's just we try to buck the system, or other folks try to make us buck the system when they don't understand our line of thinking. But if you're married, or you have a spouse, significant other, children, that has to be your number one priority out of all of your tiers. That's number one priority. And they go in the same bucket. I don't like separating them, because that's not fair. So they go in the same bucket. Anytime I spend time with them, I count that as tier one relationship progress. And now you see when I say I want to help you build a healthier relationship with progress. This is what the value lanes do. Progress is not just monetary. Progress is not just based off your position. Progress is not just based off your esteem, but progress can be applied to multiple areas of your life. Value lanes, the buckets. So I make progress in a bunch of different areas, and you typically will see them on my stream. You might even see. Let me get up out of here real quick just to show you guys this. You'll typically see them as labels. So I have personal branding, content creation, the OCPD coach. I have mental health, tier one relationship. I have some tier four relationships, like this tier four relationship. But they all help you find that balance between where you need to give your time, and help you feel better about progress, even if it is not moving towards what you have considered progress to be your entire life. It's mandatory if you have OCPD, if you want to have a healthy balance, because we tend to overwork like maniacs, and you will work yourself into the ground. I tell you guys all the time how I got married on my wedding day. It was something that is almost everybody, every celebrity I think about, they all have that one story, that pivotal moment, or the thing that shaped their mindset going forward. And for me, that's that. I always think about that. I really did something. My wife, if she was a different type of person, could have really held that against me and made me suffer mentally, for doing it. But she understood me, and we understand each other so much now. She has OCPD as well, so we have a lot of the same traits, and that's why she wasn't as pressed as it could have been if it was somebody else. So for that, first of all, thank you, my beautiful wife. Thank you for giving me grace on that, because I know that was crazy. But that is what I'm talking about when I say us not being able to find any time for family. You have to be able to do all of the things you have to do, and family is a critical part of your life and the progress that you need to make in life. So that being said, I won't keep y'all too long. I tried to keep this as brief as possible, as on schedule as possible. And to be honest with you, I think I did a pretty good job. I stayed on task. We got things done, and I'm celebrating one more time before I head out. All right.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Dollar. All right. That being the case, I want y'all to have a great day. Have a great week. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on so you can get notified every single time I go live. I go live on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Sundays at 1:15 p.m. Eastern Time, and Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to know any more information about the things I talk about in these streams, you can find all of that information in past streams. Just go watch the videos. Go watch the VODs. They're available. And that being said, I hope that you guys keep fighting for your life, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Where's the ranch?